Modern retro game recommendations. What do you think, Gunner? Yeah, I think we might need some help with this one. Welcome to the Poor Man's Retro Game Room, and help me welcome Cam from Modern Retro Renaissance, his YouTube channel. I'd put a poll up on my community page and kind of asked you guys what you wanted to see next, and overwhelmingly, you guys chose modern retro game recommendations. And so I've been looking forward to this, but I wanted to pull Cam into this. Cam, his channel exclusively covers modern retro games. So Cam, kind of tell us what we can see on your channel, what you got to offer over on your YouTube channel, and then we'll get started.
Well, first of all, thanks for allowing me the opportunity, Joel. My 48 subscribers will really appreciate that. I discovered your channel just by accident. I can't even remember how I discovered it. And then from there, Mark, Dad Racer, just the whole group. I mean, I just fell in love with you guys. And awesome. I wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I didn't want to do the same thing. And I identified that there's a lot of retro gaming channels out there, but modern retro games don't get talked about quite as much. And it is such a wonderful place to be with video games right now. Especially, I'll tell you, I'm 42 years old. So I grew up with the NES. I actually started with the Atari. NES was the first system I had. And so when I was 8 years old, I was able to beat Contra without using the 30-man code.
There you go.
That's my claim to fame.
That's
so
awesome.
I grew up, I cut my teeth on retro gaming.
Yep.
Now I'm middle-aged. I've got a little boy, and I find myself, I can't spend $500 on a copy of, whatever NES game it is, but I can spend $5 on the modern retro version of it. That's kind of my channel. I mean, that's my niche that I'm trying to fill.
Heck yeah, and I think it's really needed, in my opinion. I haven't come across another channel that exclusively focuses on that. There's several advantages to playing modern retro games. One is you can play them on your HD TV, so you don't need a big old CRT. You can play them on almost all the modern platforms. We were talking before we started recording how great the Nintendo Switch is as far as their storefront and indie games and retro games. What a great platform for modern retro games. So, yeah, man.
Really, Steam and Switch are the two ways to go. I mean, if you've got a Switch, that's great. Steam is just, it's so accessible. Awesome.
Yeah, it's accessible, and man, you can't beat the Steam store specials and sales that they're having. And some of the games that we're going to probably cover tonight might be on sale right now as we speak. So, all right. So what I kind of asked Cam to do was to bring 3 recommendations for modern retro games. I'm going to bring 3 of mine as well. We're just going to kind of talk about those games, show some footage, and then we're going to have an honorable mention here at the end. And so let's get started. Cam, do you have number 1, your first recommendation anyway? Ready?
My first recommendation is a game called Children of Morta. And Children of Morta, the way I describe the gameplay, it's Diablo-ish in that it's kind of a dungeon crawler, randomly generated. It's got some roguelike tendencies to it. You're going to die. Be prepared for that. But every time that you go through a level, you get a little stronger, the roguelike thing. Kind of describe the graphics. There are 2 parts to the graphics: the characters and the backgrounds. The characters, if you ever played the old Sierra games, King's Quest, Police Quest, that's kind of what the characters look like. But the backgrounds, they're also pixel art, but they're a lot higher definition. Kind of have to just play it and experience it. Gameplay video really doesn't do justice to how beautiful the game is in motion. Great thing about all these games I'm going to talk about, and Children of Morta included, is Retail price is $22, but if you are any bit patient, you can catch it on sale for about $6.50.
There you go.
You can't beat that. I've got some notes here. It takes, depending on how much you want to complete, just to bare bones beat the game, about 14 hours. But if you want to do everything, about 28 hours. So your return on investment, if you buy it for $6.50, not bad.
Not bad at all, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. I haven't played that one. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Well, people don't talk about it, and that's one reason I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. You know, I can get on here and I can talk about Cuphead, or I can talk about Hades, but everybody knows those games.
Yeah.
Children of Morta has kind of slid under the radar, I believe.
So that's cool, man. Kind of a overlooked game. So very cool. And there's a lot of them out there, unfortunately. Really good, solid, modern retro games that nobody's heard of. So, all right. Well, I'm going to start off with one probably everybody's heard of. And I heard of it, saw it, and kind of passed it by for quite a while. And then I finally ended up pulling the trigger after my cousin was telling me how great it was. And that is Broforce. If you like run and gun style of game, pixel art, if you like a completely 100% destructible environment, packed with, I want to say 90s, but I'll say 80s and 90s attitude. Every character in there you unlock. I mean, there's tons and tons of unlockable characters, and everyone you unlock just makes you laugh. I mean, right when you unlock it, you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is, you know. And it's got all the tropes from the 1980s awesome action movies, you know, that we used to watch. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if this game was out on the NES or, you know, the Genesis back in the day, might not have ever left my home. I don't know. I might have.
I mean, I did a video on Broforce. Yes, I mean, I'm a convert. Yeah, I mean, if you liked 80s and 90s action movies,
yep.
I mean, whether you like video games or not, you need to play Broforce just for that reason, because it will make you chuckle.
It's hilarious.
I'm surprised that they didn't get sued for some sort of copyright. Because they borrowed from some big hitters.
They sure did. And this is kind of weird, but I don't know. I'm going to mention it anyway. I have it on my PS4. You can get it on any platform, basically, nowadays. And you know how the PS4 controller has the illuminated front of the controller. And
I know where you're going.
Anytime you clear a level in Broforce, that thing flashes red, white, and blue. So I was playing the first time. I looked down there. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Now, no spoilers here. Have you beat the game?
I have not beat it.
Beat the game. The final scene is maybe the greatest scene ever in a video game.
You're gonna make me.
I'll leave it at that, because you need to experience it for yourself and have no one spoil it for you.
There you go.
I will say this: it's interactive.
Awesome. Well, and so now you got my curiosity piqued. I've got pretty far in it, and one of the really cool things about Broforce, of course, is the co-op. That's the whole thing, man. And you can play couch co-op. Playing online with a buddy is awesome. It's just, there's not much like it. So Broforce is my first recommendation. If you haven't got it, man, pick it up.
One other thing about Broforce, I love how quick you're in and out.
Yes.
If you die, I mean, within 2 seconds, you're back in the action.
That's right.
I mean, it's nonstop.
And I'll tell you what, if I've got 15 minutes, you can sit down and play, have a good time with 10 or 15 minutes and leave it and go.
Well, with the destructible environments, there's so many different ways you can say, I'm going to try to do the stage this way.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. And that environment plays a role, and you're going to find prisoners to free. And when you free those prisoners, depending on how many you free, you do get, that's how you unlock characters. So very cool, man. Very cool. All right, man. So back to you on your second recommendation.
My second recommendation, also a game that at least I feel like doesn't get talked about enough, and that's Katana Zero. Okay. And Katana Zero's graphics, it's I call it pixel art Akira. If you've ever watched Akira, that's kind of the environment. It's like a not post-apocalyptic, but just like a dystopian future type situation, but with pixel art. And it's got a VHS veneer over it, in it's like they're putting in a VHS tape and you're watching the gameplay. And that goes straight into the gameplay. First of all, it's hyper violent, but it's 8-bit graphics. So, I mean, it's more humorous than anything. But I mean, we're talking, blood sprays, a mile high. Mm-hmm. And what you do is you actually go through the whole level. And if you die, it rewinds like a VHS tape. But once you get to the very end, it's like you can hit save, like you've been recording it on a VHS tape. Cool. It's another one of those games. You can catch it on sale for about $9. It's a little bit of a shorter game, but it's a side-scrolling hack and slash type game. I mean, you don't want 20, 30 hours. Right. So 4 to 10 hours maybe of gameplay. But I mean, it is a roller coaster ride the whole way.
It sounds like that's right down my alley, right there.
Yeah, the way that you do it, it's a lot like Meat Boy, where you're going to keep failing, keep failing until you finally get it right, and then you might do a fist pump because I died 40 times before, but I finally was perfect through that run.
There you go. And I think that's. I don't know about your games, but my recommendation is pretty common. Well, the difficulty on a modern retro game a lot of times goes back to those retro games that we used to play. And a lot of them are a little more difficult, but they're more rewarding in my opinion. And really, who has the time to sit down and play a 40-hour game nowadays? I mean, it's just, they're just about the right size and the right time as well. All right, so my second game is a game that just blew me away. I saw the trailer on Steam when it first released and had to get it on there. Then I ended up getting it on my Switch as well so that I could take it on the go, and that is The Messenger. This game, if you like Ninja Gaiden, it's similar to that. There's some really cool platforming techniques. The first one that you'll encounter is cloud stepping, where there's ways to jump another time, like a second type of jump, that you have to time it just right. It's a pretty big game, and the bosses that you fight are just huge. They're big, they're beautiful, and it starts out as an 8-bit style of game, and once you hit that halfway point, and I'm not really spoiling anything here, but it kind of turns into a 16-bit game. There's a lot of TLC in this game, a lot of love and care. It's awesome, man. It is one of my favorite modern retro games, and if you're into Ninja Gaiden style or even side-scrolling action type of games with beautiful pixel art, those games for you, and a great story, by the way, too.
And you mentioned just before about old school hard.
Yeah.
You're comparing this to Ninja Gaiden. How does it compare difficulty-wise?
It's not quite as difficult, but it's right there.
What is?
Yeah, exactly. I would say it's about as difficult as probably the second level of Ninja Gaiden. So, now I've made it through 75% of the game. And there are some very hard parts in it, but it's cool. Kind of like you were saying, you'll play it and you'll start to learn it. And, once you get those muscle reflexes down, it's very rewarding to get through some of those parts and actually, beat it. And it's got a cool mechanic too. If you die, you're still playing. You're going to continue at your last save spot. If you die, you have a little, kind of like a little monster that's following you around. I'm trying to think of his name, but he'll eat the gems that you pick up. So that's kind of your your motivation not to die. And there's stores, you can buy upgrades, all kinds of good stuff. So The Messenger, man, do not pass it up. And I think, Cam, you were saying that, and I saw something, I think it's on sale on Steam right now.
I checked on Switch earlier today, and it's on sale for $7.99. And that I want to say it's usually $20. I've actually had this game on my watch list for about a year and a half, and it always stays on sale for about 20% off. But I was looking for like that 50% off mark. So there's a good chance that once we log off here, I may download it.
It's definitely worth it. I promise you, it's well made, well polished. All right, so your next recommendation. I think we're up to what, 3?
Number 3.
Yeah.
This is one in a. It's not really a series, but the developer, it's a universe that they do, and it's SteamWorld Heist. The SteamWorld games, the first 2, SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2, are kind of like Metroidvanias. There's one called SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh, which is a card-based RPG. And then SteamWorld Heist, the one I'm talking about tonight. My notes, I've got it written down that it's kind of like modern genre, as in like XCOM 2, think of that type of gameplay, but done in a retro 2D style. So it's like a 2D side-scrolling view, but it's turn-based strategy.
That's cool.
It's really hard to put it into a box, because it kind of crosses into that modern and retro really well. It blends so well. The graphics, I compare it to a high definition Lost Vikings.
Okay.
I mean, it's not pixel art, but it kind of gives me that vibe, and partially because you pick a team of 3 people or 3 steam robots, and like I said, it's turn-based strategy, and you most of the shots have a laser beam, and you can actually do ricochets. So I mean, it's sometimes cool. Even if somebody's hiding behind a barrel, if you can get the right vantage point, you can ricochet off 3 walls and hit them in the back. Once again, another one of those games, retails for $20. It's the lowest that you can get it for I've ever seen, and what I bought it for was $4. Maybe the best $4 I've spent on my Nintendo Switch.
There you go.
It's another one of none of these SteamWorld games get talked about, and I've played all of them, and they are all amazing. Somewhere between 12 and a half and 21 hours of gameplay, and $4. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
There you go.
It costs what a Big Mac costs.
You know, I've seen those SteamWorld games on every platform I've been, and I always see them kind of pop up because I'm looking for retro style games. And I just haven't tried one yet, so I might have to try that. And I love turn-based strategy games. Oh,
no! If you like turn-based strategy, don't hesitate. If you can catch SteamWorld Heist on sale,
SteamWorld Heist,
you are not going to be disappointed.
That's awesome, man. All right, so we kind of, Metroidvania, that genre has been kind of brought up already, and I'm going to say this is probably my favorite modern retro style game, and I'm a huge fan of Super Metroid, and that's probably the biggest knock about this game is that people say it's almost too much like Super Metroid. Well, is that really a bad thing? I mean, really? And that is Axiom Verge. This game's been out for a while. There's an Axiom Verge 2 out. I haven't tried it, but if it's anything like the first game, it's going to be good. It's a Metroidvania, but there's some differences there. There's a lot of different things that you can do to upgrade your weapon. A lot of different weapon types. And there's some puzzle solving. You have to find the right thing that's going to let you, get to that next level, and open up more of the map. And the map is huge. I mean, it's huge. And this game was made by one guy, Thomas Happ. One dude.
That's the amazing thing.
Yeah, it is
a labor of love, because my understanding, it took him years to.
It did. Yep.
It may have still been 16-bit when he started working on it.
Right. It did. It took him years, and I read a little bit about that too. like he would work on it on his off time. And it was just something that he loved, you know, and you can tell it's very polished. It's as good as any AAA game you're going to find out there, but it's pixel art, it's retro. You'll see the footage below. What a great game. And it just totally captured me. And the multiverse edition, if you ever get a chance to pick that up, it has the map, has a complete map, has a booklet with all the art, you know. It's just awesome. The boss fights are great, big, huge boss fights, and it's challenging, but it's probably the most accessible game on our list, I bet, because it's not over challenging. It's not too hard. It's a lot of fun. All right, man. So we were going to bring a couple of honorable mentions as well. So why don't you go first with your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is a game called Golf Story.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Golf Story is another one of those that it's really hard to put into a category because it's Earthbound with golf.
No,
I mean,
that's awesome.
that almost sounds like an oxymoron, but just trust me, it works. I mean, the characters, I mean, it looks like the characters were ripped straight from Earthbound. I mean, it's an RPG, but instead of having turn-based battles, you play golf.
That is cool, man.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Golf Story, and it really has gotten some really great reviews. I gotta just, next time it's on sale on the Switch, I gotta pull the trigger on that, man.
I can imagine it's probably not everyone's cup of tea. That's why I kind of picked it as more of an honorable mention because it's different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I like, you know, I've always liked video golf games, and when you kind of mix that with an RPG, and from what I understand, it's a pretty open world that you go through and stuff. So, yeah, that one's really caught my interest, and it's had it for a while now. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. I need to though. All right, so my honorable mention is going to be a game that's very hard. If you like Dark Souls, this would be kind of the retro style of Dark Souls. It is a hard game, but it's fun, and that is Slain. And the version that I play is the Back from Hell version. Beautiful pixel art, tough, challenging, but fun game. And it really has kind of a Castlevania vibe to it. It's hard to explain. But some of the cool things is, of course, the great pixel art. The soundtrack was done by a guy who was in Celtic Frost, it's a black metal band, Kurt Victor Bryant. And he does the entire soundtrack, and it is awesome, man. It's just music, but it's metal. This game is heavy metal. It's the most heavy metal game I've ever played in my life. But it's a lot of fun, and I actually got an achievement on the PS4. I was playing it on the PS4 the first time I got it. Got an achievement for the amount of times I died. So, you know, there you go. Yeah, it's
all you need to know.
Yeah. And yeah, it's you know, it's even got a spot where you know, your protagonist, your hero, I guess, stops and just bangs his head. That happens in the game too. But I will be showing footage, and I'll show part of the trailer in the footage down below as well. But Slain's a great game.
Even better, it's now on sale for $3. I checked that before we started also, and I've never played Slain, but I always see they have it as a package deal. It's Slain and a game called Valfaris, and it's on sale right now for $8, and it's always on sale as a combo. And my understanding, I think they're similar games, maybe even created by the same people.
That's my understanding too. I haven't played the second one. I might have to do that now that it's on sale though. Yeah, and it's kind of one of those games like we were talking about, short games. It is a short game. It's a short game if you're good at it. you better be really good at it though.
But I mean, that goes back to that whole retro thing though.
Yeah.
I mean, those old 8 and 16-bit games.
Yep.
I mean, most beat 'em ups, like Streets of Rage 2, you can beat it in what, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
You're good, probably 30.
Yeah. I know that I've done it under an hour easily. And yeah. And, you know, the difficulty, I would say, it might be the hardest game I've played as far as a retro style game.
Duly noted.
So if you do beat it, that's a badge of honor right there. Well, I think that I think we covered some really good games tonight. Hopefully, you know, you guys will maybe see some footage, see some games that you haven't heard of, or maybe you've heard of them and you just haven't pulled the trigger on them. I think there are a lot of advantages of playing modern retro games. They're a lot of fun, and this being the poor man's retro game room, you can't go wrong with a modern retro game. They're usually cheap. Usually can find them on sale if you're patient.
Yeah, I was doing the math in my head. All 8 games that we mentioned, you can purchase for less than you would buy a new $60 title.
There you go. Right there.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. And most of them aren't real big time sinks. They're the type of game that you can put down, pick up when you want. You know, some of us that have family, kids, grandkids running around, that's kind of a cool thing. So, all right, Cam, make sure you head over to Modern Retro Renaissance YouTube channel. The link will be in the description. Give Cam a subscription. Go in there and watch some of his videos and comment to him. Sometimes when you're just starting out, that stuff keeps you going. So I know that the comments, you know, that's what I like. In fact, I like more comments than, you know, more than anything. So let us know what we missed. I know that there's just tons of modern retro games out there, tons of good ones. So if we didn't mention your favorite, please put that down in the comments. Let us know. We'll be fast to respond to you. All right, Cam, do you got anything to say? Finishing note?
Just not really on my list, but the new Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, is out. I've beat it 4 times already. I'm going through all the characters. And if you like Turtles in Time, if you like just any of the Ninja Turtles beat 'em ups,
yep,
it's on sale right now for, I think, 10% off. And yeah, it's so retro, you can't believe until you play. I mean, it's just like going back and popping in that Genesis or Super Nintendo card.
There you go. And you know, I think that might be the most anticipated. Well, Streets of Rage 4 was very anticipated. We didn't mention some of these games just because everybody knows about them, but yeah, that Turtles game might be the most anticipated game I've seen in a while.
It's .emu, or however you say their name. Same people that did Streets of Rage 4.
Yep. There you go.
They know how to do a beat 'em up.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 4 is one of my favorite games, man. It's so good. All right, cool, man. Check out the Turtles game. And check out Cam's channel. Link will be in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your day. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks, everybody.